He says, kun fayakunu. Be, and it is. So there's no, God is not interacting in his creation in a cause and effectual way, in that way, that things are interacting with other things in a cause and effect way.
That this universe has been created by a powerful and intelligent being who is transcendent. By that I mean that God is not like anything in the universe. And the Quranic concept of God does not compromise that in any way by, for example, claiming that some creature, such as a human being, shares the power, the knowledge, or the attributes of God. And that would be a self-contradictory statement. If you think about it, if you're claiming that a created being has any of the power of the knowledge of the ability of God, then the whole basis upon which you build an argument for the existence of God in the first place, it falls down. It demolishes itself. Knowing God, how can we know God? Through what means can we know God? Is there a means to know God? All of these questions and more. The purpose of life. Why are we here? What is it all for? What is the reason for our existence? These are, of course, all the questions that religions in various different ways try to answer. How do you explain an organized, systemized universe? The most rational conclusion is an organizer, a systemizer.
When we say khalaqa, when we say Allah is al-khaliq, what we are saying is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created this out of nothing. Not from his own self. This is not an emanation from God. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He did not produce anything. He did not give birth to anything. Nothing came out of him. Wa lam yulad. And he came out of nothing. He did not come out of anything. Allah always was. Allah was, and nothing was with him. And he is as he was in his absolute reality. Because we are contingent. Our existence is based on Allah's existence. We are not absolute reality. This is not absolute reality. None of this. It's contingent on that Allah has made it out of nothing. And at the moment that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala decides, he can again return it to nothing as it was.
We can only say what you said about yourself. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ Allahu Samad. Lam yalid wa lam yulad wa lam yakun lahu kufuwan ahad. Our scholars say that negates the 8 ways that people fall into shirk. So those are all negative approaches to God. They negate concepts of God. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. That negates the concept that God is plural or that he's composite. Right? 1 is not a number. And this is one of Euclid's in book, one of his books, I think it's book 7. He says that a unit is that thing which we call 1. That's a unit, that's a wahda. And then he said number is a multitude of units. So 1 is not a number. Every number is a multiple of 1, but 1 is not a number. So when we talk about God, we're saying that he is 1, and that's negating kathra and ta'addud. It negates the idea that he's composite, that he's made up of parts. So he's a simple reality. Simple, I mean by that there's no parts. It's infinite simplicity. It's pure oneness. And then Allahu Samad, that negates the haja, ihtiyaj, naqs. It negates deficiency and aib. So it negates, we can't conceive of God as needing anything or having any blemishes. He's salam, he's perfect. Salimun min al-uyub. And then lam yalid wa lam yulad, that negates illa wal ma'luliyah. It negates cause and effect. Nothing caused God, and God is not the cause of anything in a cause and effect relationship. In other words, that cause and effect cannot be separated, right? So we can't, one of the things Aristotle, problem with God. He called him the prime mover because he said that God is the uncaused cause of all existence. So we say that God is the cause of existence, but we say it majazan. We say it to say that he's not a cause. Do you see? I mean, these are we're getting into advanced kalam, and it's, you really need a lot of preparation to get into into these concepts. But God says be and it is. إنما kun fayakunu. That fa is not sababiyya. If it was sababiyya, it would be majzoom. He says kun fayakunu. Be and it is. So there's no God is not interacting in his creation in a cause and effectual way, in that way, that things are interacting with other things in a cause and effect way. العلل المعلولية. And then ولم يكن له كفوا أحد ينفي الشبه والنظير. That he could have shabihun or nadir, that he has a likeness or an opposite. So the devil, if you get into Ahura Mazda, Ahriman and Ahura Mazda in dualistic thinking, the devil is seen as a nadir of God. That there's a dark God and a light God. That's a dualistic Manichaean thinking. That's negated by that. So the Qul Huwa Allahu Ahad is the via negativa of our tradition. It is yaslibu anwa' al-kufr al-thamaniya. It negates those 8 types of kufr. And that's why whoever really understands ikhlas understands tawheed, at least at that level. Does that help?